So the kitchen remodel has started. You popped a breaker somewhere.
Dominic!
We decided that this table is going, right? This end table? Mm-hmm. Yep. Flooring we're gonna do, that's not at this moment. We could screw this up right now. Molly here is taking out the 3 different kinds of liners, and everything's just kind of tore up and terrible. This is actually one of the better ones. I'll show over here. This is one of the worst ones. You can just see, like, it looks better on camera than it does in person. So, where's one of the worst ones? Or did you start there? This is a little gross.
I started at the really bad ones.
Yeah, these ones were terrible. This is 1 coat of paint, right?
Yeah, that's 1 coat. The top is like 5.
In some spots, it looks like it needs more.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna caulk all the seams just to make it look a little bit better. We're gonna re-laminate the countertops. I've done that before. That was an old job of mine. Just gonna have to bondo that little corner there, and then you can re-laminate right over top of this so they'll have to get really cleaned. Pull the backsplash up. Screens are disgusting, so the screens and windows are gonna have to get cleaned. The cabinets themselves are getting painted. All of them. There's built-in ones over there. This upper one in this little baby section here is going. So is that little kickstand. That's all going up. We're gonna get 1 cabinet on the wall there between that window and that window. Open this right up. You're gonna have like a little breakfast table there. Floor, like I said. Probably gonna get a cover for the radiator. Fixtures, light fixtures. We're gonna get an LED one, roughly that size, a little bit prettier, fancier. That ceiling fan is gonna get replaced with a more modern one. And then this was the wallpaper. I showed it in another clip that I'll add right after this. And this was all wallpaper here, and they painted over it. And it came off fairly easy, but there is still residue left behind. And we're gonna have to paint that. There's still wallpaper back here. Once we pull the fridge out and we're ready for that, we'll start working on that. We're speaking of upgrades, we got a kitchen faucet, but that's gonna wait until we do the countertop, and then we have to plumb in. We're gonna put a dishwasher here and rearrange this cabinet a little bit. We got a new range in the dishwasher. I'll show that. There's a seam right here. It tucks under the cabinet or under that molding.
Oh, God.
That's disgusting. Oh, we don't have the bugs that are stuck. Throw it in the garbage can. At least it's not the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's also here.
Yeah, if they're in the hole this far.
Good job. Honestly, it kind of makes it easier that we don't have to worry about this as much priming.
No, there's like a residue. We're gonna sand that. This is easier than, it's so old. I don't know if it being painted over helped it or not.
I think it might have.
And yeah, it's like thicker. You filming? Mm-hmm. This is the pattern that they painted over. It's ugly. Honestly, might be better than that. But this is disgusting. Like, greasy. So, we got a Samsung range back there and a dishwasher. Which one is this? GE? And yeah, this is a GE dishwasher. Those will go in. Those are both stainless steel with like black trim. And we gotta do some work in this hallway. Part of the kitchen. This wall, when we paint in there, we're probably gonna bring it into this wall in this hallway. Just to tie it all in. But you could just see how dirty that is. That's supposed to be white. That's all they smoked in here. And then this will all get like caulked up and niced up. Is that a word? I don't know if we should leave that draw down here. But that's a nice little start. It's fucking rejuvenated. Brand used. Okay, so this room is by far the worst, the kitchen. We just thought it was going to be painting and cleaning up. It is absolutely disgusting in here, and let me show you what we've done so far. So, we did test panel swaps on the cabinet. Once again, the colors are not going to portray right. That's the one we're going with. That is 2 satiny. That's gloss, and then that's a different color altogether. Those two colors are the same. So I have to patch that outlet. That was for a clock. Apparently built-in clocks were a thing. That security system thing in the corner is gonna have to get patched. And she started cleaning up these cabinets. I did it before and after on them, but I'm gonna caulk around the edge. It's gonna look so much better when we're done with it. Yeah, there's still more wallpaper here. They painted over the original wallpaper in the house, which is a terrible thing to do. I just spent 2 hours sanding around the edge and around the arch. There's still more behind the fridge to do. Luckily, it's sanding rather easy. But, yeah, that's all glue. I made it all dusty for my girlfriend to paint. So we're gonna have to blow those out so she can continue painting, cleaning in here. I have no idea. Like, the people were like, what is that? Like, obviously there's rings there. I see that. Like, they had cans of something that were sold that fermented and it just oozed. It kind of like, you would think it's molasses, but like, who has that in their house? Like, what is that? So, yeah. So we didn't even touch these yet. That's gonna get the same treatment. Spackling the walls. I found this crack in the ceiling. I started sanding it and it started opening up more, so I'm gonna have to address that. Spackled more over here, over there. This is really good to see. They smoked in here or something. Or just cooking grease. I think it's cooking grease and then like and smoke in general. But you can see that picture there. There was a Jesus cross like there. And there's more. I have to pick this out and Bondo that. Spackle that rather. Gotta address that. You can just see how gross it is there. That corner. All of this. These cabinets are gonna get yoinked out rather soon. It just closes off the room with the light too. Especially it really annoys me because this light is only like one bulb's burnt out or one side of it's burnt out entirely. And like that bulb is not like full capacity. So yeah, that light is shot. So we have another one for it, but I have to take it down during the daylight, paint the ceiling and then throw it up and then continue. This crack I started picking at, it opened up. We do have a new stove and this looks funny, it might to you. This was a big cabinet from little cabinet, big cabinet here and here, 2 doors, and had these sliders in there. So cutting that out and we found the original floor and then they used this as shim material and this was the laminate in the bathroom, and maybe these countertops at one point. They're different now. But the pink marble effect is faded in the bathroom. So it kind of looks like white in a different shade of white. But that was our bathroom. Why does that not show as dark as it is? You can see it a little bit better there. Here's a little, that's supposed to be a white light switch. It's not white. So that was the original floor here, and they just put this linoleum over it. I don't think anybody's linoleumed anything in the last 20, 30 years. So that's how old this is. We're gonna do all new flooring in here, but not just yet. This doesn't matter because we got paint on it and whatever else. But right here, I cut a 24-inch section for dishwasher. We have that brand new. It's gonna slide right in there, mount to the countertop so it doesn't dip, and run the water lines and drain through the cabinet in the back. And the power, obviously the power, we need that. So I think I'm gonna have to cut this back another inch. So right now it's at 24 and the machine is 23 3/4. So that gives us a 1/4 inch to play with, and that's not a lot. And I need to build a wall here to support the bottom shelf there, because there's nothing there, it just is hollow. And to divide the side of the washing machine because it's ugly and it's got like insulation on it. So I want to do a nice wall there, and then I'm going to cut the door down, probably router, new beveled edge on it. And that door will just clip into there. And when I put a shelf in the center there, it had all the hardware for the, like, to keep it like a retaining clip almost. So if I cut it back another inch, that'll give me a 1/4 inch on either side. And I'm thinking that might not be enough, so I might go 1 1/4 inches. So that'll give me 3/4 of an inch wiggle room in there. I could always do a trim inside there. I don't want too much of a gap, but I also don't want it to be a bear to shove it in there. This little shelf, I thought about deleting it and making it one big cabinet. Honestly, that one door might fit there instead of cutting it. If I delete this and just a one door, or maybe keep the one door to keep a nice look to it, and it opens, you can access that little cubby and the big cubby kind of deal. This is weird. This is kind of like dead space. So my girlfriend wanted me to maybe block it off so nothing gets lost back there. And also one of the stipulations she said when she wanted to buy the house was that she wanted a dishwasher, and she doesn't bug me a lot, so that's why I'm doing all this work, cutting it out. So she doesn't get on my case about stuff, and this is what she really wanted, so, you know, compromise. And so that's why I'll stay here late and work. And not a whole lot else is going on here. We got a new ceiling fan for that. Once again, got to pull it down to paint and spackle. I thought I could just paint automatically. This hallway, funky. There was more Ethernet cords and cable boxes in this house than anywhere else I've ever seen. This needs work. We have a new fixture for here. This does not have a switch. So I'm thinking about putting the switch here. And since the walls are plaster, I think they didn't know how to fix them right. Nor do I. But they put this piece of ugly wood over. I bet if I remove the wood, there's just a gaping hole there. And I think I could just recess that outlet and put a switch in, or put a switch in and then the outlet here. Some kind of configuration, but just that, because I can't find another light. Like, that's annoying to do. But if I had a switch and it's a dimmable light, it could just give me just enough light in here, because we have a much brighter light going here, a nice LED one. But I show that light there because there's a light there and a light there. So that kind of lightens it up a little bit. We're gonna replace those fluorescents with LEDs once again. And we need a light in here. And a new dimmable switch for this one. and a new fixture. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're fixing stuff anyways. So much dust. Yeah. It's gonna work, but
It's all gonna come crashing down.
no,
Yeah?
I don't think so.
It's fucking.
They could do that,
Oh god.
There's a wire there.
Did you cut it?
Yeah.
Where does that go to?
You popped a breaker somewhere.
Dominic! Why did you think we popped a breaker?
We should have.
Mm-hmm. I said it was gonna fall.
Yes. Does it look better?
It looks so much better. So much bigger. Yeah. Looks better.
Yeah, get the cabinet removed. I get some drywall to fix. This is actually drywall. Looks like half-inch drywall. Rip the edge off of it on this side and fuck that corner up.
Yeah, but look at that. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, it's not cut off. Okay, a little update here. We got the hole for the dishwasher set in there. And we cut the cabinet door down. And I made a shelf. Put this trim back down here. This board right here is going to get painted the same as the cabinet. And then when the dishwasher's in, screwed to the top, we're going to put this piece in like that to finish out the look like how it is. And there's a space there. So that should trim it out. And if it's too tight, I could just take a rip off it with a table saw, take a half-inch off, say, and then just take the stapler and staple that in there. So that should trim it out. And then we're gonna do, when we do the floor, we're gonna do trim down here as well. So that's a little update. And then we just gotta put the shelf is in here. It's kind of like not the best way to do it, but like we just matching what was here. This board right here was rotted, like completely gone. I took 2 scraps and just cut it. It's better than what's there. It's not the best shape. that's gone. I think that's gonna get 2 can lights in there. That cabinet was so gross. It had like canned goods. They went bad and black stuff oozed out of it, and then it oozed down the refrigerator. And the previous owner just left it. Kind of gross, but it was like molasses. We were not gonna bother fixing that. We're just gonna get a cabinet there. Small one, pre-made, unfinished one. And then we're gonna get another cabinet there. Probably like a 30-inch 2-door one. And nail that to the wall, that'll be good. It's way more open in here. It looks like a disaster zone. But we got a new stove. Dishwasher's got a hole now. Just gotta plumb it in. Made a mess in here. This was the clean room, now it's not. Some way along the way, update. So I took the mirror down and we found another outlet. It was great, another wire. So I think we're gonna put a light there because it is a little dark. I ended up painting the entire ceiling in the hallway and here, and it swallowed 2 gallons of paint. I hung this fan up because I thought it'd make it a little bit brighter in here. Right now it's dusty. Took the vents off here, we got new ones. I'm working on this. I don't want a 2x4 or a plywood, rather, on the wall. So I need to get a different box. I'm gonna put this here, and then I'm gonna put a switch here for the light. And I just need to sand the little bit of spackle I got going on. I don't know if we showed that, but this door's gone now. Got a new light fixture down here. It is so much brighter down here. This was like a dark dungeon type feeling right here, but all the walls are disgusting yet. Started smoothing that out. There was something there, obviously another switch or outlet or something. That's the story of this house, just outlets and wires. This is all got to get sanded out. This had like edge protectors on there. It's all sticky. Come through here. We think we decided on a floor, right? Mm-hmm. This is, so we chucked the other cabin. We cut it out of there, and this is gonna be the replacement. Oh, here you go. This is just some of it, but it was on the floor. But I have to patch that. New cabin will go up there. But Molly is painting along the way. That just got its first coat. Took the one down over there. We decided on a floor and countertop in here. I'm gonna re-laminate this. I did that at a previous job. Here, I can't do it yet because I can't make dust because we're painting. Yeah, can lights going here. That wire, I'll insert a clip of taking this out. This was a nightmare.
Dominic!
It went, not as planned.
To say the least.
Yes. So I gotta add, that wire is gonna power the can lights. I gotta add a switch for it because it's live all the time. Okay, the cabinets are much cleaner and painted now. We gotta get the other one cabinet up there. We got new hardware for this before the doors get painted. We're liking that. Pretty cool, all black hardware. There's a brand new cabinet that's gonna go up. Got the doors over there for it. I got this light fixture up over here. You remember the botchery that was going on here. So I added the switch box here. There was nothing here for that. This outlet was on a wood plate off the wall. I shoved it on there. This was another hole I'm trying to fill in. It's a big hole. It's a little not pretty, but it's fine for now. So that light's gonna come down when we paint, but I just wanted to test fit it. We got another light that's gonna go here. I also got another hole in here for a switch, and that, obviously I'm a professional if you see this wall, so I know what I'm doing now.
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the holes cut out. I got this old work box with screws in to screw into the studs. I'm really liking these. Really easy to work with. These came from Lowe's. They're not that much money, but they are a lot nicer than these. If you could find the stud, or if it's possible, these just come out. It's a little bit harder to use these in this house because all the walls are plaster. But that just grabs it and sandwiches it in there. I wish these flanges right here were a little bit longer, but I guess it can't be because of the switch is only a certain size. But that's all wallered out. It's a little big here and here because that's where there was another outlet, a different shape, but this is a light box outlet. So I just need to run a wire out of here, get this flush with the finished surface, screw it in. Same thing here, just gotta run a wire down from here to here and then make the connections for the switch. And just like that, we have a switch. I tested it, it's got power up there. No sense in hooking the light up right now because this wall has to get painted. So obviously, I told you, I'm professional. Okay, this turned out to be a bit of a project. Is fixing the edge that we messed up when we took the cabinet down. And then I drilled some holes for the lights. They're centered this way. And then from here, I put it 15 inches. And from there, I put it 17 inches. It would be 15 inches, but there's a stud there. And I feel like it lined it up perfect. I made a fish tape out of some tie wire. I got it over here, and then I'm gonna put a box here. And that should work just fine. And then I got a couple holes to patch. This dirty piece that you can see where the light was. This is how greasy the kitchen is. It's gross. So that's easier that it gets painted. And they made a patch panel to access the wiring. There's a junction box over in there. You won't see that there. So I think I'm gonna leave this instead of fixing it. Like patching it with sheetrock or something like that. I think we're gonna leave this thin Luan piece because the visor is gonna go across there. And then I need a box here. I just rough cut a small hole because there's a stud literally right there. And I'll get another one of those screw-in boxes. That'll be nice. And then the cabinet is gonna sit on this edge here. Technically, I don't even need to fill those. But I'm probably gonna because I'm gonna do this one too. Just patching it. I might just do a rough patch and that'll be fine. Also, I started caulking the edges of the cabinet. You can see like that seam. That's not even a bad seam. You can just see they're very cheaply made. But once you caulk the seam, obviously I'm gonna get under here and stuff. You can see the difference of how that looks. It looks much better. They're gonna get liners. Doors are painted, they're going on. So we got a new hood as well. So I gotta work on taking this out of here. I'm not gonna even play with turning it on. The light didn't work, and when I tried to turn the fan on, it made a god-awful sound. So I'm gonna disconnect it, and when we're ready, we're gonna throw the new one on. I have an idea of what we're doing with the backsplash. Our idea changed. It's gonna go with our countertop. Our countertop material should be here soon. But we have something planned for the backsplash, and I think it's gonna look awesome. Okay, little update. So I had some time the other day and I busted out painting the big walls. It's hard to see the difference until you see the difference of color. This is only like one coat. I just did the big areas, and right now Molly is doing the edging and the rough spots. We're not worried about going down too low because the backsplash is going to cover up a lot of that. I painted over here, but you could see, I couldn't see it before, but I have to do some spackle work, some of that light stuff in there, and that'll be fine. That little boogery spot on the wall that's painted, but it's gonna get covered with another cabinet. You can see this is only one coat. around the window, but it already looks better. It looks like shit when you look close, but it looks better when you stand back. We actually have a window. We took the dirty ass screen out and you can look outside, which is like incredible. We started test fitting cabinet doors. I don't know if I showed that. They just need to be fit up a little bit better. These ones work. This one needs a little bit more sanding here, and then we'll probably just touch up the edge. And then we have these little rubber bumpers that take the sound out. That one needs a little bit more work right at the top. And then that one needs some work. Then down here, I think it was a double door. I think we're gonna make it one extra door. We have enough over there. So I think we can make that work. That just all needs edging down here around the radiator. This is gonna get painted there. This wall looks so much better. I put a lot of work into that. I'm not the biggest fan of the warm light, but that's gonna work really good at night because this is gonna be the only light we leave on. I am super happy with how bright this and how much work I put into this little header panel of work. This light fixture looks really cool. The fan needs cleaning, but that looks cool. And then this, we're gonna have like a little breakfast eating area, dealio. So that looks out of place, but then like how bright it is, that's gonna be great. I like that a lot. And you figure the table will be here. The switch won't interfere with any of that, so that's why it's up kind of high. But that's a little interim update. Slowly but surely. Okay, so things have escalated over here. We have so much more room. We moved the fridge there. That's where it's gonna live temporarily. We're gonna get a new one. That's gonna make its way into the garage eventually, but for now we have drinks and beer and the essentials. We pulled the stove out because there's absolutely no way we're gonna use that, and we showed we had another one. I pulled the hood out. Probably the second or third most gross thing we've seen thus far. Yeah, it was so greasy that the fan motor was locked up. That was definitely a fire hazard waiting to happen between the grease and the motor being locked up. So it's got power here, obviously. We have a new hood. This is gonna have to get sanded, cleaned, painted. This, I'm probably gonna cut out the linoleum there for now. Maybe here, make it feel a little bit cleaner. There is a plywood, like Luan subfloor that they put down. I might rip up all the linoleum and have a plywood floor. That might make it feel that much cleaner and better in here, because it's pretty freaking gross. And then we got to paint in there and defunk and grease it. I went outside a minute ago, and whatever we did in here stirred up the stink that was originally in this house when we bought it. So everything we've done thus far has made it smell cleaner and better. Yeah, we just undid it a step. But in the long term, this is gonna go. So I started ripping up this god-awful, terrible, it's not even molding. It's just rubber with sticky back and the glue. That black stuff is the glue. So I'm gonna rip up a lot of that, and then we're gonna do real trim here. Thankfully, it's only right here around the cabinets and then to there. And then in that corner and down the hallway, that's all real trim. And then one short piece right there. So not the end of the world, but we're getting somewhere. Okay, so I wanted to make a little clip to show people what we're actually dealing with. I just pulled this light bulb out from up there, and it was greasy. And this is what I saw, but when I rolled it over, I just want you to know what we're dealing with. This is why we're cleaning everything. You can just see the scuzzies rolling out of it. This tub was clean. This is the first screen we're cleaning in this tub of water. That is nasty. That's why every square inch of this house had to get cleaned, scraped, painted again, let it sit for about a week and a half, it soaked through, and then painted again. That's basically the process, right? Mm-hmm. Another 2 coats after it sat. Look, that is nasty. You can even see out of this. Okay. Yellow sponge.
Here, one more.
Yep. 1, 2, 3 swipes. That's not a yellow sponge. And you wiped this down already. Look at it just running out of there. That's not soap, that's dirt. Okay, a little kitchen update. We have this countertop done. I did all the edges here and I routed them, and then you sand this side smooth with either palm sander. Same on the bottom side. You don't want to catch an edge, because if you leave an edge and you touch it, you have the possibility of cracking it later on. And then I filed these edges so they're safe to work around. I cut this oversized, about 2.5 inches. You just router that. You want to use a router like this with a bit with a bearing on there. The bearing will ride on this surface but not cut into the surface, and then you hand file the rest. So you need a file like that. Everything's easy. The hand filing part is the part that needs skills. You could burn an edge. I haven't done it in a few years. I did burn an edge a little bit right on the top here. It's not bad, but you know, haven't done it in probably since 2017, and it's 24 now. So it's not bad in my book. So we need to have clean dowel rods here, where you're gonna stick them under the cabinet so the step is, this is all sanded. We're gonna take contact cement, smear that on both sides after we clean both sides of this. Then we're gonna do another layer of contact cement. We're gonna roll it on there. Then we're gonna stick the rods on there. We're gonna lay this on top of the rods, the dowel rods, and then we're gonna slowly pull the dowel rods out. I'm probably gonna work in this corner first because it's widest here. Get that to stick, and then slowly work the corner down. If you leave a little gap here on the countertop, it's not terrible. You want it pretty tight, but the tile we're gonna use for the backsplash is gonna hide a lot. So that is the start of a countertop. And this is just belt sanded down right over top the old laminate. These are all ridges, that's why we went down so far. You want a good base. That's the whole thing of it. This was really rough, so you don't want to go further than that. That's a good sign, but these are all ridges in there, and that's why it was so dirty. There's lack of cleaning, and the stuff got stuck in the ridges, like back here. All right, we stuck it. We have a professional countertop installer.
Professional.
Yeah. Put that pressure on there. You can two-hand that son bitch. Yeah. I think we got a contact cement high going too, so. Yep. Just want to make sure that bearing is still moving freely, because now this is a finished surface on the front of it. So we want to make sure this bearing's spinning freely, and then we're just going to glide right over that front edge. Okay, once again, everything's fighting us here. I wanted to get a box out of the living room and set the sink in there. It's roughly that time, so got this all filed out, cleaned out. Set the sink in there, and then I wanted to mock up the new kitchen faucet, and it didn't fit. This windowsill stuck out way too far. So the options were get a lower windowsill, which the sink sits above this, and then any faucet we measured that they sell that would fit under this either didn't swivel, or when you pulled the handle up, it would hit this either way, so you wouldn't get the full swing of the handle. So the other option was use the faucet we have. It'd be too tall, roughly about yay high, and notch this, or cut the entire windowsill out a couple inches back, and then sand this smooth and paint it. Windowsill will be a little bit smaller. It'll still have the trim on the bottom. The faucet will work, the one we already have. It's just another setback, another delay. So I'm gonna keep cutting that piece out, sand it smooth, paint it, sink in, faucet, plumb it, and keep going. Well, quick little update. I still gotta glue in the sinks or plumber's putty and the strainers, but the sink's in. Looks pretty good. We gotta paint that. We got the backsplash going in. It's coming together. This ties the counter in really nice, the black accents everywhere. It's gonna look pretty cool in here. This was a brand new hole saw that I got to drill out the sinkholes. They're already pre-scored, but 2 holes, that was completely done. And it wasn't going through, so I put it on the floor and I just yeeted it right in. And luckily, we're replacing this. I would have never done that if we weren't, but and the layers underneath it are going bad too, are going away too, so it doesn't matter. So it just made junk, like complete junk. This thing's smooth. Okay, it's been a long time since I've done an update. It's taken me weeks on and off to do this floor. So this was hardwood and nothing was coming off of this. The subfloor was fine. We just had to get a million belt sanders, 36 grit, and sand every bit off of it. Took one big pass. I had to vacuum everything. All the fuzzies from the adhesive came up. Then I had to do it again. Then we hammered some nails down, and then the wood kind of splintered when you hammered them down. So I just did a light coat over the whole thing again. It's not perfect. The edges were hard to get because it's under the cabinets, so we got that as best as possible. And then this, I tried everything. I tried dry ice, I tried torch, I tried heat gun, I tried a razor blade scraper, big one, long one, 5-footer, roof scrapers. Nothing would get it up. I tried everything. Belt sander would clog up instantly over there. I have no idea why. What worked was a concrete surface grinder, and I'll show you that. So right now there's a transition here. There's multiple heights. So I'm using this Henry's feather finish. It's a subfloor patch. So I'm trying to feather it out so when you put the level on there, there's not a gap underneath it. Right here where I have it marked out, a little hard to see. It's about a 1/4 inch low in the center there. So I just don't want you to feel that springiness because we're doing vinyl plank floor. So I'm gonna take this stuff, it's like a Portland cement kind of thing, and I'm gonna use a notch trowel, scrape it, and then I'm gonna use a scraper of some sort as a screed, and I'm gonna try and smooth it out, and then I'm gonna take the trowel, smooth edge, feather the edges out, and that should get me close enough. I mean, this stuff is kind of forgiving the floor. Some guys like to fill in the cracks in the plywood. This stuff's drying really fast. But right there, when I was chipping away at it, all the staples between the multiple layers of floor, there was the tile, then they did Luan, and they stapled it, and they're just clusters of staples. There was no real rhyme or reason for it. And then when you hit a nail or a staple, it would only rip that chunk, so you'd hit it again, and there were so many nails in one spot, it would rip the old hardwood floor out. and just rip a whole chunk of it out. So there was a big hole there. Over here, there was a doorway, and this was a wall. You can see right there. So there used to be a wall here. I don't know if it was a knee wall. I don't understand what the configuration was. But it was really rough right here. Same here, where it's darker, it's a little bit deeper. But we're just patching that. But this was a bear. From this whole section, just wouldn't come up. I have a dust collector from Harbor Freight and a concrete surface grinder. That was doing it. I have over here is the big scraper I was using. I have more combinations of scrapers. I broke about 4 or 5 of these. Some Harbor Freight, some Husky, some of the other ones I had in my truck. This thing was actually doing pretty good for a while. It's made to hit it. I have this battery powered Milwaukee 7.9 grinder, and it's friggin' worthless. It drains so much battery out of the batteries that the batteries default, and this just, I should have never bought this tool. I should have bought a corded one. It's absolutely worthless. But I tried the buffing wheels, but I also bought a bigger concrete wheel, and it worked fine until 3 minutes into this, it would just stop working. So I'm gonna try and get rid of that grinder, sell it, something. I mean, it works perfectly fine. It just drains batteries out way too far. Maybe the new Milwaukee Forge battery will work. My 9 amp hour battery won't work on that. My 12 amp hour gets about 5 minutes out of it before it clunks out. Let the battery cool down, and it's good for another 5 minutes, and then the battery's pretty much toast. So just drawing too much power out of it. So that tool needs to be corded. I don't know if it gets wide there and narrow here, and that's where the low spot is. And down here, it's only like a 16th, but I'm just gonna feather it out, might as well. And then I'm guessing it's low all through here. So once this is done, I'm gonna potentially feather this edge here, not sure. This is what I'm using. Henry's 549. Yeah, it's working pretty good. New to the product. So this was a little bit hard. Once you get that far, your arms start burning. So once this dries, I'm gonna check it. I might need to bring it out more or plop a bunch in there and then screep that. I'm not sure. I might click together a bunch of planks and see how it feels underneath it before I start doing the whole floor. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. Okay, months in the making here. We have the hump sorted out here. I did that section yesterday, that section yesterday as well, and then the center had a little bit of a low spot. I did a base coat on it. I just don't want to go too thick with it, and I just did that a couple minutes ago. It's actually starting to dry. Sometimes it takes 6 hours, sometimes it takes 8 hours. That box says in as little as 15 minutes. It's not very deep there, so that's what I'm hoping for. And then I just have to go over with a belt sander and just feather out the edges. Like that's where I drop the trowel. And then I'm not the best at concrete or flat work, so I gotta just sand off the little red edges from the trowel. And then just up here, and then I have a hole there. I'm just gonna make sure it's smooth hit it with the belt sander. I already have a plank over there, and I was testing it to see I have a 6 foot level. I was trying to see if there was an air gap under it, and there wasn't. That corner there, I'm just gonna have to go through with the palm sander real quick just to make sure it's level. I can't get in there with the belt sander. I think same on the other side over here. So the entire floor has a dip here in the center. So I brought it that way and this way, and it ends right here. So this is pretty fine. So I set the level that way. So we're pretty much ready to start throwing plank down. Can't wait to throw plank down and trim it out. Did the backsplash, still gotta grout it. Gotta do that side yet. I need 2 people because of the sink's in the way. What I was doing was gluing it and then just flopping it up, but there's not enough room between the back here, so my girlfriend helped me with that. But we're coming together, and then there's just touch-up paint to do there. The tape peeled off some of the paint there, so we just got touch up there. It's not too bad. But it's coming along, and that's the plank. Okay, we're making progress after months of blood, sweat, tears, turmoil, all those words. But it's starting to take shape. We got these really nice spacers. That hole came out way better than I thought it would ever behind the oven. We left a little message in case anyone's ever gonna rip this floor up. Yeah, you could read that. I mean, it took everything out of me to do this. I've learned things. I never thought I'd have to do concrete work or flat work. And we just wrote another little thing here. So the original owner's name was Joe Calderone, and everything was pretty much left the way he left it here, even though there was people in between from when he passed for 20 years living here. It's very much still Joe's house. His stuff was here still. His name's on stuff. There's a memorial plaque outside on a tree for him, so that's why that's there. So hopefully he doesn't hate what we're doing when he's looking down or up. I don't know the man. But I'm sure he was a good guy. It's looking good. Okay, Molly got her gigantic refrigerator.
I thought this was gonna take longer.